All right, so the ruling is in. Deshaun Watson has been suspended 11 games by the NFL. So now the question becomes for San Francisco, will Cleveland hit up the Niners front office and make a trade for Jimmy Garoppolo? That's what we're talking about on today's show. Also, an announcement at the end. Make sure you stay tuned for that. This is the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. My name is Chase Sr. Appreciate all of you for watching today's show. The news was out there and reported on from a couple of different outlets. And then when the big guys start coming in like Adam Schefter, that's when you really know it's legit. Adam Schefter tweeting this after a couple of those reports were out on social media that the NFL, NFLPA reached an agreement. It's going to be an 11-game suspension for Deshaun Watson. The settlement also includes a fine of $5 million that will go to charity for the causes of basically what Watson went through in this legal situation and what he acted upon during that process. And the deal still is not signed, but it is agreed to. Now, there's been a couple of things that have transpired after this ruling and after this was agreed to. Deshaun Watson spoke with the media, so he's obviously going to sign it if he hasn't already done so. The suspension going to be 11 games, and the Cleveland Browns also commented on this matter. You know, what the irony also is that once Watson comes back from this 11-game suspension, the team that he takes on, his former team that traded him to the Cleveland Browns, and then the Browns gave him the largest contract in the history of the National Football League for quarterbacks, and now Watson will go up against Houston once he serves that 11-game suspension. Now, going back to that earlier question that I posed, and it's something that has been a major talking point all throughout this offseason right here on the 49ers Report, do the Browns have confidence in Jacoby Brissett with the roster that's well-positioned to win and compete in the AFC and take on some of the other really good teams in the AFC North with Watson out for 11 games? And if the answer is yes, they're not going to trade for Jimmy Garoppolo. And it's understandable to see why. Brissett does have a lot of experience. They have voiced some confidence in him. We've seen him throughout his NFL career do a couple of really good things. But if they don't have confidence in Jacoby Brissett to keep this team afloat during that 11-game suspension, that's when a Jimmy Garoppolo trade could happen. And the date to keep an eye on here, August 30th, roster cutdown day. If Jimmy Garoppolo is on this team past that date, his base salary of $24.2 million becomes guaranteed for San Francisco. Now, with Brissett and with Watson being out 11 games, this is the Browns' 2022 schedule up until the point until Watson comes back. Can they survive this schedule going up against these opponents with a really good coach in Kevin Stefanski, a very good offensive line, arguably the best backfield in the NFL, Amari Cooper, David Njoku, Myles Garrett on the defensive side of the ball? Can they escape this stretch without Deshaun Watson and with Jacoby Brissett? So let's just run through it quickly, Jack. If we could go back to those first several games, you're looking at weeks 11 through 18 here. This is when Watson is actually back beyond that Bills game. But it is a fairly easy and winnable schedule for Cleveland. At Panthers, Jets, Steelers at home, at Falcons, against the Chargers. Chargers going to be a tough game, no question. After that, Patriots, Ravens, Bengals, a bye week, which gives you a little bit of time. And then week 10 against the Miami Dolphins. First 5-6 weeks, they're winnable games for Cleveland. After that, schedule starts to get a little bit tougher. And then on the back half of the year, when you got to be playing your best football, with the Browns envisioning that with this roster, they can make a playoff push. This is when Watson comes back into the fold and, of course, returns there week 13 against the Houston Texans. So, who is better between Garoppolo and Jacoby Brissett? Fielding your responses right now in the comment section. If you had one guy to play quarterback for the Browns this year, who are you going with? JG for Jimmy G, JB for Jacoby Brissett. Now, it also comes down to this in this entire conversation. With Watson being suspended now, and now that we know it's definitive, 11 games, not the original 6-game ruling, do the Browns have interest in Jimmy Garoppolo? Now, according to reports from Mary Kay Cabot, we talked about this last week, that's where this report comes from, the Browns have discussed the idea of trading for Jimmy Garoppolo. But the question is, does the 11-game timeline now, as compared to a 1-year ban, change their thinking? Because that was also discussed and in play last week. Mary Kay Cabot, Cleveland.com, To this point, the Browns, who will start Watson in Jacksonville on Friday, that was their first preseason game, by the way, of note, if he's not suspended indefinitely by then, have been all in on Jacoby Brissett as the replacement for Deshaun Watson. But the paradigm will shift if Harvey increases the suspension to double-digit games, which is what it is right now, 11 games, or the year-long ban that the NFL is seeking, along with a substantial fine and treatment for what it's deemed a disturbing pattern of behavior. There is a fine here. At that point, the Browns will explore all of their options, as they always do in these situations, and Garoppolo is the only accomplished veteran on the market given permission to seek a trade by the Niners, who are turning the team over to Trey Lance. He can likely be acquired by the Browns for a mid to later round pick. And a mid to later round pick at this point for Garoppolo is pretty good, especially if you're San Francisco. You don't have to eat any of that salary. And as we've continued to talk about, schematically, Jimmy Garoppolo fits with the Cleveland Browns. Kevin Stefanski, Kyle Shanahan, they run similar offenses. So him going to the Browns makes a lot of sense. And there's also this, which is a monster factor in this as well. The Browns are the only team in the National Football League with enough cap space to take on that Garoppolo contract without a restructure, without the Niners absorbing some of that hit of $24.2 million. So financially, it also makes sense for the Browns to trade for Garoppolo. But again, it's that 11-game timeline that may have altered their thinking. It all depends on how much confidence they have in Jacoby Brissett. Coming up next, an announcement that I teased a little bit earlier, so stay tuned for that. First, though, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if you are subscribed to the 49ers Report, it's the Real One roll call. I want to hear from you in the comment section. Type Real One if you're subscribed to the movement that's taken place here on the San Francisco 49ers Report, the largest Niners News and Rumors channel on YouTube with more than 60,000 subscribers. And if you are a Real One, a part of this movement, get yourself a Real One shirt. I've had a couple of these pictures come in for people who have rocked them. I'm going to get you featured on the show. Anybody who makes a purchase, you take a selfie of you rocking a red or black Real One shirt, you will be featured on the 49ers Report because we care about our subscribers and our audience more than anybody. Chatsports.com/Real149. Make sure you cop your Real One shirt today. Okay, I said it a little bit earlier. A little bit of an announcement for me professionally, but no need to panic. Some of you may have seen it. I already tweeted it out earlier this morning on Twitter, but I am excited to announce that in addition to covering the San Francisco 49ers this season as host of the 49ers Report, I will also be adding on to my plate and covering the Philadelphia Eagles starting on Monday for Philadelphia Eagles Now as the full-time host. So nothing, and literally nothing is changing here on the 49ers Report. You might just see me tweet out some videos about the Philadelphia Eagles because my NFL role here at Chat Sports is expanding. Still going to be doing daily shows on both channels. So as we continue to grow here at Chat Sports, I'm really excited to take on more responsibilities here at the company for the Niners Report, which has 60,000 subscribers, and Philadelphia Eagles Now, which has 31,000 subscribers, and continue to do what I've dreamt of doing since I was 5 years old, and I moved into my house with my parents, and the first thing I did was turn on the TV and just fell in love with sports because that's what was on. Talking sports, and primarily the National Football League, which is the ruler in American sports society. So again, nothing changes here on the 49ers Report. Daily videos, live shows, watch parties, post-game podcasts, everything and more. We're going to continue to do what we've been doing since I took over this channel when we had a little more than 30,000 subs and continue to build it to the point where we have nearly 60,000 subs. At the end of the day, just taking on a larger NFL role here at Chat Sports, and I'm going to be doing a lot of the same content on Eagles Now because we weren't able to do that previously because Thomas Mott was working on the channel remotely. He's decided to move on, and we want to maximize one of our largest NFL properties. So I'd hope that you'd support me in my professional endeavors. I hope that none of you rip me in the comment section. I understand why some of you might be like, come on, Chase, really? But at the end of the day, I'm just doing what I love to do, talking about the NFL, and my role here at Chat Sports is expanding, and I'm taking that next step in the broadcasting business, and I get to stay at a place where I love my coworkers, I love my bosses, I love the company, I envision where we're going as a company on this rocket ship right now, and I want to continue to impact and chime in any way that I can to help Chat Sports grow. So, with that, if you remember, when I took over the 49ers Report during the 2021 NFL Draft, I took over for Thomas Mott, who was the original host of the 49ers Report. he was also the host of Philadelphia Eagles Now, and he is stepping away, moving on in his own professional endeavors, and he's handing the channel off to me because he will no longer be working at Chat Sports. So make sure you give him a follow and type Mott in the comment section right now to wish him well in whatever he decides to do. Obviously, he's a fantastic broadcaster. He has been so critical to Chat Sports' growth and our overall success, building the Niners Report into what it is, building Philadelphia Eagles Now into what it is. And now he's put it in a great position for me to take over. And since I'm in-house here at Chat Sports, I can do even more content on both channels. So thanks to Mott. Congratulations, man. Wish you all the best. Thanks for doing everything that you did for both of these channels. Type Mott in the comment section, and we'll probably see you later on today on the 49ers Report with more practice updates from Minnesota.